Was the behavior alleged to be criminal official acts of the president pursuant to the presidency, or personal acts of Donald Trump pursuant to his personal interests? I think the court is going to find if they were official acts, they're immune. He can't be prosecuted for them. If there were personal acts, then the jury has to decide if they were criminal. Who decides if they were personal or official acts? A jury. So I think, I could be wrong, the court is going to say, here's the definition of personal acts, here's the definition of official acts. Trial judge, you have the jury decide. So that's a partial win for the president. He was asking for full immunity, which would have wiped out the entire case. But if I'm correct, I could be wrong, but if I'm correct, the case will go back to the trial court. They're going to try and rush it through. They want to get this done before November, if they can, and seat a jury so the jury can decide if they were official acts or personal acts.
Okay, so
the Constitution is silent on this issue, but the concept of the presidency itself has to give the presidency, the president, a little bit of maneuvering room.
The president has to be in power to make decisions in a moment that are in the best interest of America in that moment, according to the president.
And he can't worry about his successors prosecuting him for them.
Yeah, that's Banana Republic stuff. That's what we see in Venezuela. That's what we see in other countries. So when do they make that decision? Do they wait till June, the Supreme Court, to kick it back down to a lower court, or is that something that happens soon?
Well,
because this Jack Smith January 6th case, to your point, he wants trial to start in a month.
Correct. You know, the Supreme Court could rule tomorrow. My view, this will be the last case that comes down, which means the last day in June, which means right after the 4th of July, Jack Smith and his team are going to be before Judge Chutkan saying, we're ready to start the trial. They can't start the trial right away, but it is theoretically possible to get it in before Election Day.
So I want to move on to New York. That's where Trump was yesterday. He was not allowed to be in Washington hearing the Supreme Court because he's at his criminal trial, as we know. In New York, Mr. Pecker taking the stand. What do you make of what happened yesterday?
Well, the government is trying to show a course of dealing, a pattern of behavior on the part of Donald Trump and the National Enquirer and Michael Cohen. And that pattern of behavior was one, according to the government, of deception, leading these women who claim to have had inappropriate behavior with the former president, before he was president. And paying them money for the exclusives to their story and then killing the story.
Right.
And then when it came time, this is according to David Pecker's testimony, when it came time to Stormy Daniels, David Pecker says, I'm tired of paying for these stories. They don't get me anywhere. Let Donald Trump pay his own bills. And that's what began the circuitous route of this money to pay Stormy Daniels. It took 3 days to explain that to the jury.
Right.
While that happened, the Harvey Weinstein case was reversed. And the Harvey Weinstein conviction was reversed, and it's a lesson for Justice Merchan, who's presiding over the Donald Trump case. The trial judge in Harvey Weinstein, in the same courtroom that Donald Trump is in, by the way, allowed too many prior bad acts of Mr. Weinstein in to prejudice the jury against him. This judge may be in danger of doing the same thing with Donald Trump. So he may very well read the decision of the Court of Appeals of New York and be guided by it.
Meantime, Weinstein's going to get a whole new trial.
Yes, he is.
That news breaking yesterday. So the media, and Pecker laid this out yesterday, and Pecker he said that Trump was his mentor. He and Trump were friends for 25 years.
They were, apparently.
So Pecker's one of these witnesses that, yes, he's a prosecution witness, but he was friendly to Trump's defense, I thought, yesterday. The media is trying to make the case that it's felony election interference to help Trump catch and kill the Stormy Daniels story back in 2016. But to me, that's exactly what the media has done for Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton for the last 8 years. Think about the Hunter Biden laptop story. Think about what NBC News did to protect Matt Lauer and Harvey Weinstein. They caught and killed multiple stories, and the American people didn't hear about, their various peccadillos.
Counselor Finnerty, you're making your closing argument already and doing a pretty good job of it. That can very well be part of the closing argument, because the initial parts of the cross-examination of David Pecker are, haven't you done this before? Haven't you done it with other people?
Right.
Don't the other tabloids do it? Isn't it standard operating procedure in this business? Right. Yes, yes, and yes.
Can I just quick one, Judge?
Sure.
Just very quickly, when do we think this Judge Merchan is going to rule on this gag order?
I think he's going to rule today. These are the type of rulings that come down on a sleepy Friday afternoon.